I know what you're thinking. A Minions movie? You reviewed a Minions movie? You gotta hear me out, man. You gotta sit with me for a couple minutes and hear me out. Because if you are, one, a horror fan, and two, not just a horror fan, but specifically film history in general, this shit is for you. It was for me. I did not expect this at all in the slightest whatso fucking ever. But I am pleasantly surprised to call Minions and Monsters maybe. Oh man, I'm gonna lose so much credibility after this. Not that I had any to begin with, but this is maybe gonna be on my top 5, top 10 of the year. Okay, I like this movie. I am edging on loving this movie. And I have not liked the majority of the Despicable Me or Minions movies, I think of which there are 3 now. As a whole, I've never been a fan of these movies. I think the Minions are fun in bits and pieces. I think that they would make great shorts and they fit great in a TV show. But as a film, the first 2 have never really done it for me, and the Despicable Me series kind of lost its luster after 2. After that, it just became sequelitis, like most of these films that have to continue moving forward go. But man, I was so happy with this movie. I was laughing. My eyes were full of tears. My heart was full of glee. I felt like a child, but most importantly, I felt like an adult child. This movie caters to an audience that has grown with the Minions throughout the years, but not just grown with the Minions. This movie acknowledges people whose taste in film has grown. The film follows the Minions in the 20s trying to become the next big movie directors. They have put behind them the lifelong journey of finding the vilest and most evil person to be minions for, and they want to pave their road in cinema. Along the way, they realize that they have to evolve with cinema. See, the minions speak in demonic Spanish, reverse pig Latin. You can stick so many words to describe whatever the fuck this language is, which is obviously Spanish. Sometimes they use full sentences that are like, I understood that. Do I speak minion now, or what's happening here? Is this a metamorphosis now? Like, am I one with the minions? But I speak fluent Spanish, so I can understand the Spanish sentences that are actually full-on sentences. They really leaned into it in this one. It's almost like if the directors and the creators want you to kind of be in the joke outside of the gibberish. They want you to question if you yourself are turning into a minion. But the minions come up with an idea. See, they don't speak actual words most of the time. And with the introduction of sound in cinema, they're no longer the golden minions of film like they were in the 20s. They have a huge audience, huge group of people that love their work, but when audio is introduced and they can't speak dialogue that is written on a script, they lose their business. They are no longer stars, and they decide to make a movie of their own. And that movie is a monster movie. And so they come across a book, they raise some monsters, and of course, those monsters go out of control, and the minions have to solve a problem that they created. That is a very silly story, but what really surprised me of this about this film is just the incredible love and attention to detail directed at film history. If you don't believe me, I was so surprised. I don't like any of the Minion films. I think I've given them all a try, and after the first 15 minutes, I can no longer hang with the Minions. Again, in short bursts, they're fine, but a whole fucking movie, no. What this movie does is it tricks you, because what you're getting is not, in fact, something that is fully for kids and that caters to like the lowest common denominator. This movie actually gives a fuck about its audience that's grown with it. Throughout the movie, there are some really deep cuts from the first ever Universal Pictures logo on the screen, from down to references of Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, the Three Stooges, the great of the golden age of like physical comedy and silent films. There are direct references to George Lucas. There are direct references to the evolution of sound in cinema, to even down to the equipment and the type of cameras that are being used throughout the years. There are references to films of old, of alien films from the 40s up to the 60s. There are references to if you have PA'd before in movies, certain pieces of equipment and grip equipment, there are references to that in the background that are like deep cuts. The first ever video footage of the train. There are references and an actual scene to Trip of the Moon from 1902. Like, there's so much stuff in here that are genuinely deep cuts in film. Things that only film nerds like me and a lot of you would actually recognize. And I just thought that it was so heartfelt. And the movie does this throughout the entire movie. These aren't small homages. These aren't just small moments. There are scenes completely dedicated to these big moments in cinema. And then when we actually get through halfway through the movie where the monster stuff kicks in, because for a good part of this movie, you're just following the minions. You're watching their career flourish, and then you're watching the inevitable downfall. And eventually they come to the breaking point where they have to raise monsters and put them on film, right? And so, like in the trailer, they read from a book, and a little baby Cthulhu, an adorable little fucking evil thing, pretends to befriend them so that they can raise these monsters from the underworld. Baby Cthulhu is fucking adorable. Every time he's on screen, his dialogue had me cracking up. The minions here have surprising depth. Any other movie, the minions, they kind of get lost on me. I don't know who the fuck is who. I don't know their names. I don't think, apparently they have names. One is named Bob in the other movies. Here we have a fresh pair of minions. And I actually remembered, I could tell who was who. There was a distinction. They all had characters. There was a point to their story. It was so surprising to me that someone out of nowhere said, you know what? The audience that grew up with this, they're in their 20s. They're maybe in their 30s, but nonetheless, like, let's give them something to actually contemplate. And I'm not pretending this is some kind of deep feature, but there's a clear love for film here that is front and center. It drives the plot, it drives the characters, it drives the homages, it drives everything. And I was just so in love that it wasn't just like, oh, that and this. It actually drives the story forward. It moves along with the progression of time. And then we get to the second half where all the creature stuff is happening. And we get references to The Day the Earth Stood Still, Metropolis. Like, there's so many things in this movie that I was flabbergasted. My gasted was flabbered. It was insanely good. I actually laughed for a good majority of these movies, for a good majority of the runtime. And now, granted, like, Minions humor is still Minions humor, okay? That's to say, like, there are very stupid moments in this, okay? There are ridiculously dumb moments in this fucking movie sometimes. But nonetheless, those dumbass moments worked on me because they were bookended by genuine comedy. And the rating on this, it's PG, but my God, they pushed the rating on this bitch hard. Like, they are edging that PG rating, okay? There is a beheading in this scene that, outside of lacking blood, is just straight cruel. It was ridiculous. There's a montage where they're finding their villains, and as the minions do, they're fucking it up and they're accidentally killing everyone. And the way that these people go out, these creatures, these giants, the way that they go out is just serenade perfection. Like, it was ridiculous how these people go out, and the minions are causing it all, the destruction that they cause, but they push that PG rating so hard. And that's how you know, on top of the film and cinematic deep cuts, they're absolutely also growing with us in terms of the humor. This bitch is darker than the rest in terms of the violence that is in here. It's like Tom and Jerry. You know how in Tom and Jerry, right? They're always cutting each other up. And all they do is they don't show you the blood, but they'll show you like the inside of their meat looks like ham, you know, with the little like pale circle with the bone marrow in the middle and the meat around. That's what they do here. But with the level of CG and detail that is in this film, you get a level of uncanny valley when the violence happens that I was just, again, my gasted was flabbered. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I have no negatives because the movie is clearly in this little bracket of joy and celebration for film and horror, classic horror, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Lovecraftian horror. There's so much here. Even the book itself that they read from looks like the Necronomicon from Evil Dead. Like, there's just so many references here, and I'm sure I can watch it 2, 3, 4 more times and catch little things, but I was never annoyed by the minions. I absolutely adore these fuckers now. I am a Minionite now. I'm a Minion fan. It took them like 17 movies, but I get it. I absolutely get it. And I think this is a good way to move the Minions forward. Every movie should explore something, a different time period, a moment in human evolution, anything. But the fact that this catered directly to my heart and to film and to my creative side and to all the like the years and decades of film history that exist out there. Like, this was such a clear passion project. This wasn't like they didn't have to go this hard. They didn't have to make this movie. They could have made another dumbass Minions film about them surviving the fucking Ice Age and crossing over with the characters from Ice Age. Like, they could have done anything in the world. And they made a movie that pays so much respect to the greats and incorporates that narratively and has good humor and has a level of highbrow intention while still being lowbrow in many parts. And then the last 30 minutes of this movie go buck wild with like the action and the element of lost control. Anybody who is a fan of like film history and films and silent films, alien films through the 40s and 60s, like anyone who loves these films and loves film history will walk out of this with a newfound love for Minions. And I actually empathized for them. This was a really great movie. Like, for me, it was really great. And again, I don't like the Minions. I don't fuck with Despicable Me. This is it. This is it. Like, I'm a Minionite now. I love this movie. And I will be getting it on Blu-ray. That's how much I liked it. And I know I might be overhyping it. But again, this is coming from someone who, like, his entire life is film. This movie absolutely did all the things to pull at my heartstrings and make me go like, oh, man, I really do love film. And out of all people, it was the fucking Minions. Thank you guys for listening to me, what I guess, fanboy and fangirl over the fucking Minions. It was a phrase, a sentence, a formation of words that I never thought would actually be uttered from my mouth. But nonetheless, here we are. The sky's falling. It still surprises me that I've cultivated such a nice community. I know, like, in the grand scheme of YouTube, 1165 followers isn't much, but to me that's like, it's more than I ever thought I was gonna get. And you guys still keep reaching out on Instagram, and it means a lot that you guys take an interest on a personal level to just connect and talk about movies, which is pretty much all I live for. So thank you guys. I promise I'll get to all the comments that I've yet to respond to, and all the messages that I've yet to respond to on Instagram. It's been a little busy out here, but thank you guys for showing up. Stay tuned for another horror video, hopefully tomorrow, if not no later than the day after. And as motherfucking always, I will see you at the movies.